Hello and welcome to Markigy, the science of marketing strategy. My name is Rita and I'm one of the producers for the show. And today we're joined with our amazing host, Leanne Dow-Weimer. Welcome, Leanne, to your own show. A little bit of context as to who the heck I am. I'm just here to help guide the story along and explain to you the intent of the show, what it's going to be about, who you'll hear from, and most importantly, you'll get a chance to know our in house marketing expert just a little bit better. So, Leanne, tell me, how did you get your start in marketing and why even get into this industry? Didn't you study like science or something else before?
Yeah, I started off in undergrad as an exercise science major, which has a lot of science, so much chemistry, so much physiology, like so much. And I eventually found my way into realizing that I love creating ways for people to feel connected, but not necessarily within a direct one to one sales situation. And so I now have been a marketer for a little over, I would say at least 7-ish years of marketing experience outside of necessarily a completely sales role.
So, when you decided to make that jump into marketing, was there something that attracted you to the industry that made you want to kind of go more into it?
Yeah, I felt like there was so much opportunity to create a situation where people wanted to be your client, be your customer without it being a heavy handed, old school, hard sales approach. And so I was really interested in creating different types of campaigns, different types of awareness, really getting out there digitally and making it accessible for people to get the answers they wanted when they wanted them.
Speaking of answers, when we want them and how we want them, what can our listeners expect to hear regarding their burning marketing questions as they listen to each of our podcast episodes?
A blend of science, creativity, and marketing strategy.
Juicy. We love that. This show is also quite casual by nature. So if you could imagine us sitting at a table discussing our marketing ideas as well, we're all about being human centric here. But that's exactly the point because we're all about being authentic and creating that connection. So I'm really excited on that note to tie into more of a in depth topic analytically and your thoughts on this, Leanne. In your opinion, what makes a marketer great? Not ordinary, but extraordinary.
The difference between an ordinary marketer and extraordinary marketer is understanding the difference between random acts of marketing and doing something just because this is how we market, and doing something because you are actually answering a question or a pain point or something that the customer needs in the format, in the context, in the right part of their journey that they actually need it and want it. I think that's really the differentiator.
So, is that part of the reason you wanted to start the podcast? Why did you actually decide to start the show? And what are you most excited about with our Markigy journey we're going to take everyone on?
I'm excited to have my hands dirty and like do all the fun marketing things that I love to do. I love these conversations. If I could pull aside marketers at like a party and we just sit around and talk about why, we all need to care more about creating the value, then I would. Also, I really think that it's such a strong community where we learn from each other, and putting out content that helps us learn from each other, for each other, will just bring the whole industry up to a better standard. We've all grown leaps and bounds during the past few years as everything's moved digital and there's more measurement, there's more analytics. But we also need to remember that it's not just numbers on a page, it's not just numbers of MQLs, it's people. It's actual human beings. And those people and creating those connections are the difference between someone reading some bullet points on a flyer and someone feeling something for your brand and creating a connection and creating a customer for life. We all know that when you have a longer term customer and a longer term relationship that's deeper, that's stickier, it's better for the business. It's always going to be easier to keep and retain and delight your customer than it is to acquire a new one.
100%. It's more of a modern and innovative approach to marketing as the industry is shifting. How we interact with our content as consumers and as businesses is definitely changing. We're going to be really diving into those topics. I would probably be at that metaphorical party table you were talking about earlier, just kind of like listening in and taking notes. I hope all of you listening will feel that way too. And just to ask you, Leanne, let's pretend we're at the table and we're having this strategy discussion. I want to know, in your opinion, where do you think the future of marketing is going?
I think it's going some places it should and it shouldn't. There's all of this amazing technology where you can make things personalized. There's heat mapping, which wasn't a thing 10 years ago. There's so much data and analytics that we have access to now. And I think it's going to go in two directions. One, too far, and two, not far enough. You can go too far in doing the data and the automation and all of the things that make it like advanced technology and bleeding
The
edge.
AI, those
AI,
tools.
there's so much cool stuff that you can do, but where it's not gonna go far enough is that because those are gonna be more commonly adopted, it's not gonna go far enough in creating that personal relationship because marketing's job is relationships at scale. Just because you have access to the latest AI doesn't mean you know how to use it. There's also the like shiny object syndrome of marketing where we get so excited because it's the latest and greatest tool. But, if you give somebody a hammer and you don't teach them what to do with it, the hammer and the tools of like a master carpenter and a hammer in the hands of a toddler are going to create two very different outcomes.
Providing those conversations and giving the insight so that those listening who've maybe tried different things and they're just like overwhelmed with all the options can come to the show and hear some colleagues discuss about their own experiences with these tools, because nothing's worse than staying online and researching something for hours and hours and feeling like you got to no resolution at the end of it, and then feeling like you're alone in the situation because everyone else looks like they have it all together. We will give you the tools, the strategies, we will give you value, but also we're going to empathize with you and let you know what's okay and what's been normal for how we've been experiencing it as well.
Definitely, definitely. So much there that it's really easy to feel overwhelmed with all the choices, all the strategies. And it's really easy to have maybe an investor or a extremely high up person, a hippo in the room, and they heard about something from their friend. They don't really understand how it works, but it's your job to make it work. Sometimes you just have to understand like ways to make this request work and make a dent and
Yes.
make an impact. And, there's always that saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I can't wait to hear about that. Who are some folks that you are planning to have on the show, and what can we expect to generally like hear from them? What industries and what things do they specialize in that we should be really excited to tune in?
So many cool people. I'm so excited for all these conversations. I have some guests that are from agencies. I have some guests that are from, different startups, people active in like the tech and growth space, people that are just coming from a wide variety of backgrounds and they're looking at things like performance marketing. They're looking at things like audience ops, or they're looking at things on demand gen or ABM. And so there's so many cool aspects to this that I'm really excited to go after that entire T in the T-shaped marketer. So, we talk about generalists, generalization, and going after each one of those different kind of little genres, little fields, and seeing what's working there, looking at how we tie that together in the big holistic picture. Because any one of these marketing strategies all by itself, very difficult to make actually work.
For anyone listening, if these categories seem of interest to you and you have potential questions or topics that you want discussed on the show, please make sure to send us your questions in whatever way you consume this content where you find us. Especially Leanne, I know that we have an email for the podcast as well too. So if people listening have guest ideas or topic requests, how can they best reach out to you?
If they would like to reach out to me as a person, the best way to do it is to email me, Leanne at markigy.com, Leanne at markigy.com. If you just have general requests about the show, it's info at Markigy. And I'm on LinkedIn, maybe too much.
Same.
But the thing is that I'm not always on it. Send me an email, if it's, or slide into my DMs.
Very excited to hear from each and every one of you. That wraps it up for our introductory episode today of Markigy, the science of marketing. Leanne, thank you so much. I am really excited for this show. I think it's going to be super valuable and provide a lot of help and inspiration for your audience. If any of you like what you heard today and you want to learn more, make sure to come back and tune in to episode 1 of Markigy. Have a great day, everyone.